Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. My name is Njeri. On this channel, we talk about storytelling, entrepreneurship, and excellence. If those sound like topics you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and let us connect. Today, I'd love to talk about pricing for consultants and specifically consultants who work in the service industry. These are people who are compensated fully on their time and not necessarily on tangible products that require a different process of production. So if you're in that kind of industry, please comment below and tell me, how do you price your services? What do you use? What do you consider when you're choosing how much to charge your clients? I work as a storytelling consultant and I've been doing this for a couple of years. The biggest challenge for me over time has been finding the right price. I don't want to overprice myself too much that it doesn't match the value I'm offering, or underprice myself too much that I'm struggling or feeling shortchanged when I'm offering the service. I want to find that sweet spot where the customer feels like they're paying for value and also feel compensated well enough to do the job without feeling grumpy. So initially, the temptation for a lot of people is to start with a very low price, and that is understandable. If you're working as a consultant or you're offering professional services, your price will go up based on the experiences that you have. So the more experience you have, the higher the price you're able to offer. Unfortunately, this means that in the early days, you do not have enough experience to justify a very high price, but it doesn't mean that you also have to undercharge yourself. So if you're just starting out, if this is in the early stages of your business, here are a few things you need to consider when setting your price. The first thing is the value of your time. Every time you receive a client brief or you're talking to a client on what you're supposed to deliver, ask as many questions as possible to understand how much time you will need to dedicate to the service. So start by thinking about how much time it will take you to maybe prepare presentations, how much time it will take you to have conversations with the clients before the day of the delivery of the service. So for example, if you're going to be doing a training session, how many hours of time will you need to dedicate before the actual delivery of the session? And then how much time will you actually spend on the delivery of the services? So back to the training, if it's a two-hour training versus a half-day training versus a 3-day training. So once you calculate how much time you will need to dedicate to this client, then you charge them for the time. So in this case, you can choose an hourly rate or just offer a ballpark figure that compensates you for the time you'll spend dedicating to this client specifically. And when you're thinking about time, it's very easy for you to underestimate how much time it will take for you to prepare. So for example, if you're doing a training, you will need to prepare activities. You'll need to have a presentation for the training. Preparing the presentation might seem like an easy job, especially with something you've done severally, but think about this. You have to customize the presentation to the audience. You have to consider what their needs are and then work your presentation towards that. If you're offering a normal presentation, which is more generalized, preparation might take you maybe 2-3 hours. But if you're going to customize it, always double the time to give yourself enough time to perfect the presentation as much as possible and to offer the best possible value for your client. The second thing you need to think about is the value that you're offering. And a lot of times, the value that you're offering will justify the price. When you think about the value, think about it in two ways. There's the short-term value and there's the long-term value. The short-term value is usually what the clients will get immediately. For example, if you're offering a training on accounting systems, immediately it means that people will acquire the skills they need to manage their own accounting systems. It means that you will have an immediate transfer of knowledge. In the long term, it means that the company will run more efficiently, will have a more efficient accounting system, and they will spend less on hiring external consultants for their accounting. So factor in these two things and communicate this clearly to your clients and over communicate it. Don't feel the need to be modest about it. Keep over communicating the value. Telling them keep telling them how much it's going to impact them now and in the long term, and keep repeating this in all your conversations. Find a way to make it as natural as possible so that you're constantly communicating the value. If the client feels that they're getting a lot of value, then they will not complain about the price, and you can always charge a price that suits the amount or level of service that you're going to offer. Third cost you should always account for is cost of acquisition. As a consultant or as somebody who's offering professional services, in the early stages, you will spend a lot of time on business development. What do I mean by this? If you're doing if you're working as a consultant or offering professional services, you know that a lot of work comes with referrals, but you need work to get referrals, and that is usually the catch-22. So before you can get to a point where 80 to 90% of your work is coming from referrals, you need to find a few new clients who will refer you to their other friends. So a lot of time will be spent trying to reach out to these clients, trying to convince them to hire you, trying to get meetings with them. And this is time that you need to consider whenever you're charging your clients, because this is time that because you need, and this is something that you need to consider when you're charging your clients, because you need to sustain yourself through the business development. So every time you have a new client, don't think about the time that you will spend on the client. Think about how much effort and time it has cost you to get to this client, how much time and effort it has cost you to convince this client to work with you, and charge a small percentage on top of your normal rate just to compensate yourself and just to have that extra income to keep you going until you get the next client. If you're trying to find the right price for your services, the right price for your time, the right price for your business, think about these three things and you'll have a strategy to help you get started on pricing. If you have any questions around pricing your services, or you have any tips and advices in addition to what I've shared, please comment below and let us continue the conversation there. Until next time, bye bye.